In the heart of ancient Rome, the Colosseum was more than an arena. It was a stage for power, violence, and spectacle. Among the many who fought and fell in this brutal theater, one man stood apart: Spartacus. A Thracian warrior turned gladiator, Spartacus earned his place not just by strength but by defiance. As the crowd roared in bloodlust, Spartacus stood victorious, his sword dripping with the blood of his opponent. But this victory was only the beginning. Behind his fierce gaze lay the seed of rebellion, a dream of freedom that would challenge the might of the Roman Empire itself. Spartacus was born in the rugged hills of Thrace, a land of fierce warriors who valued independence above all else. As a young man, he trained with his tribe, mastering the spear and shield in preparation for battle. Thracians were renowned for their skill in combat, often employed as mercenaries by foreign powers. But Spartacus's fate took a dark turn. Captured by Roman forces during a military campaign, he was stripped of his freedom and sold into slavery. For a Thracian, this was a fate worse than death, yet Spartacus endured. His spirit remained unbroken, waiting for the moment to rise again. Sold into the brutal world of gladiatorial combat, Spartacus found himself in the infamous Gladiator School of Defied in Capua. Here, men were stripped of their identities and forged into killers for the amusement of Rome. The training was relentless, the punishments severe, and survival was far from guaranteed. But Spartacus was not like the others. His strength and leadership set him apart, earning the respect of his fellow gladiators. In whispers, they spoke of freedom, an impossible dream. Yet Spartacus began to plan. The spark of rebellion was igniting, and the oppressors would soon learn the cost of underestimating a man with nothing to lose. In 73 before the Common Era, the unthinkable happened. Spartacus and 70 of his comrades staged a daring escape from the Gladiator School. Armed with only kitchen tools and makeshift weapons, they overpowered the guards and fled into the night. Their destination? The wild slopes of Mount Vesuvius. The fugitives found refuge on the mountain, using its rugged terrain as a natural fortress. From here, Spartacus began to gather an army. Escaped slaves, impoverished farmers, and others who shared his dream of freedom. Rome dismissed them as a minor nuisance, but Spartacus had already proven he was far more than that. He was a leader of men, and his rebellion had only just begun. From his stronghold on Vesuvius, Spartacus began organizing his forces. What started as a band of 70 grew to an army of tens of thousands. By some estimates, over 120,000 men, women, and children. They came from every corner of Italy. Slaves yearning for freedom and poor citizens seeking justice. Spartacus trained them, transforming a ragtag group into a disciplined fighting force. They won stunning victories against Roman legions, defeating 2 consuls and forcing Rome to take their rebellion seriously. For the first time, the empire faced the terrifying possibility that its slaves could rise against it and win. Spartacus's vision was bold. He aimed to lead his army north, across the Alps, to freedom beyond Roman control. But as victory followed victory, some of his followers grew complacent, preferring to stay and plunder the wealthy estates of southern Italy. This division would prove costly. As Spartacus hesitated at the Alps, Rome regrouped. The Senate appointed Marcus Licinius Crassus, a wealthy and ruthless general, to crush the rebellion. Crassus brought discipline back to the Roman legions and closed in on Spartacus. The rebels were forced south, trapped in the narrow toe of Italy. In April 71 before the Common Era, Spartacus faced his ultimate challenge. Trapped near the Salaris River, his army, exhausted and outnumbered, confronted the legions of Crassus in a final battle. Despite their desperation, the rebels fought with unmatched courage. Spartacus himself was gravely wounded, but continued to fight until the end. surrounded by his most loyal followers. The battle was a slaughter. Over 60,000 rebels perished, their dreams of freedom extinguished. The Roman losses? Just 1,000 men. Rome had crushed the rebellion, but Spartacus's legacy would endure, a symbol of defiance against tyranny. Though Spartacus fell, his story became legend. From ancient chronicles to modern books and films, his name has inspired generations. Spartacus was more than a man, he was an idea, a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming power, the fight for freedom is never in vain. His rebellion shook the foundations of the Roman Empire and left a legacy of resistance that echoes through history. Spartacus, the gladiator who defied Rome.